Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining us for today's MOOC on VSTS integration using Tosca Connect. I am Arpit Nagaria here at Tricentis and will be hosting today's MOOC. Our MOOCs gives us the opportunity to share what's important to us, software test automation, risk reduction, and how Tricentis can help your organization to accelerate business innovation. We are pleased to have Ankush Bhatt here with us to discuss Tosca Connect, architecture diagram, artifact level integration. Some of you who joined our MOOCs on a regular basis will have heard all of this many times. But since there are some people joining us for the first time, please allow me to talk about our housekeeping rules. All the participants will be muted during the session. As there are hundreds of you currently attending, obviously everyone talking would be confusing and hard to follow. There is a control panel at the bottom of your screen with apps you can toggle on or off, key ones being Q&A, Twitter, Share, and the media player. Please note, if you pause the media player, we will disappear, so please don't do that. Even though you are all muted, we do encourage you to ask your question during the sessions. Please use the before mentioned Q&A box. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the MOOC. Therefore, will we hold the most interesting question for the Q&A session so that everyone can profit from the answers. We will, however, answer as many as questions as possible during the session, but please be aware that only questions related to the current topic will be covered. Please keep in mind that given the number of attendees, we might not be able to answer all of your questions during the session. Lastly, let me state that this session will be recorded and will be shared on our website later this week. With that, I will pass it over to Ankush.
Thanks, Arpit, for the introduction. So now we'll see how we can integrate VSTS with Tosca and move our artifacts from Tosca to VSTS and vice versa. So today in this session, we'll see first the concept, which will consist of the conceptual perspective that how what is Tosca Connect and how we use it and all. Then we'll see the demonstration of the same, that how we can move our artifacts, how what are the things that we need to put together in Tosca Connect and Tosca side so that the integration should be successful. And then we'll have some questions. Okay, so today I'll first see what is Tosca Connect or Tosca. Then we'll see the integration architecture, and then the third integration level artifacts of artifact level integration. That means what are the artifacts that we can move from Tosca to VSTS and vice versa. Okay, so first we'll see what is Tosca Connect or Tosca. So these Tosca or Tosca Connect, this is basically a third-party tool which is used by the Tricentis so as to let this integration happen. So Tosca Connect actually it helps us to integrate the artifacts of one tool with Tosca. Say, for example, if we want to move our defects that we have made in Tosca to VSTS, then we can use Tosca Connect to do so. The process of this whole is called as the integration, which is done by the Tosca Connect. Similarly, we can move other artifacts also. We can integrate other artifacts like epics or user stories which are present in the VSTS. Okay, so next we'll see the integration architecture. So this is nothing but the architecture that you can see of the Tosca Connect with different tools. So for this demo, I'll be sticking to VSTS, Visual Studio Team Services. So as you can see here in this architecture diagram, so our VSTS, that is a tool which is used for the management. So we can use we can actually move these artifacts from firstly from VSTS to Tosca Connect, and then from Tosca Connect to our Tosca. So here you can see there is one. This is our Tosca Connect, which is acting as a man in the middle. So whatever the artifacts will be moving, they'll be moving from this Tosca Connect itself. So we'll first connect this VSTS to our Tosca Connect, and then this Tosca Connect to our workspace one, and which will be like common repository which will be connected to some database. So similarly, we'll make one more workspace of this particular workspace so as to so as to see how the artifacts are getting moved. This is because why we need this workspace too. It's like when the integration will be taking place, our this workspace one, it will be logged due to by this Tosca Connect. So that's why for visualizing that whether the changes are taking place, whether the artifacts are getting moved from one place to another. So that for that purpose, we'll see this workspace. We'll make this workspace two. This is nothing but the same exact replica of the workspace one. Okay, so this is the basic artifacts mapping that we will map from VSTS to our Tricentis Tosca. So our epics and user stories will be mapped to Tosca with the requirements. But for epic, we'll be using the feature slash epic model of our task top, and for user story, we'll be using the story. So this model, this middle section, this is nothing but the what we can say the model that are the models, or we can say they are already the inbuilt functionalities that are present in the task top. So likewise, what we will do, we'll just make the use of those inbuilt functionalities that are called as models in task top to integrate. And similarly for this defect in Tosca, we can use the model of defect which is present in task top, and will further integrate this defect with our bug. So this is nothing but these are the models which are present inbuilt present with task top. So we don't need to create them. Only in rare cases, if there are some models which are not present in task top, so we can explicitly define them or create them. Or if there are some properties which we explicitly need to put into this model which are not present beforehand, so we can use we can actually add them also before, and then we can use the integration. Say for example, there's one defect that is present in Tosca. We need to move it to Visual Studio. We need to move it. We need to make a bug out of it in the Team Foundation server or VSTS. So what we will do, we will add whatever the properties present in the Tosca. We need that to be able to see that in Visual Studio also. So we'll make one custom property for this model of defect, and then we will integrate it with VSTS. Then that property will be able to see there in the Team Foundation server also, or VSTS also. Okay, then comes the artifact level integration, like what are the objects that we can integrate. For Tosca side, requirement set will be integrated with epic. Requirement will be mapped with user story, and defect will be mapped with bug. So this is what we will be integrating with what. Okay, so now we will see this demonstration of how it actually works. I'll switch to Tosca. This is my Tosca. I've already, as you can see, I've made the Tosca Connect workspace too. So this is my second workspace. So I have the other workspace also, which is the main workspace where the integration should take place. But why I have created this second workspace? This is just because what happens sometimes, if while we are doing the integration, while the integration is actually taking place, so whatever the artifacts are getting moved from VSTS to Tosca and Tosca to VSTS, that time our Tosca will get logged by this Tosca Connect. So that's why we'll not be able to open that workspace. So as to be able to see what the changes have been taken place, or what the changes have been reflected in Tosca, or whatever we have moved in the VSTS, I have created another workspace which will help us to see or visualize that whether all those changes have been taken place or not. Okay, so this is my Tosca. Now I'll switch to this is my V Tosca Connect, or also called as task top. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so you need to you need to install Tosca Connect, and then you can open it on your browser. Okay, this is something which it looks like. So, and VSTS also. So I've already created this one project here that is called VSTS Demo 1, and now I'll be creating some work items here, and they should be reflected into Tosca. So that we'll see how we can do that. Okay, so first I'll go to Tosca Connect again, and now we'll see first how what are the things that we need to set up here first, so that the integration should take place. Okay, so here, if you can see the repositories, models, collections, and integrations. So we need to take them from right to left. I'll tell you why we do so. Okay. So first thing is repositories. Repositories is nothing but the we need to first tell Tosca Connect that which repositories we need to connect to take to actually help in this integration. Say for example, in our case, we need to move the artifacts of Tosca and VSTS. So that means we are having two different tools that we need to integrate. These two different tools, for these two different tools, we need to make the repository out of these two different tools. So I'll in the repositories I'll make two different repositories. That's one of Tosca and one of VSTS. Okay. So that's something that's same as Microsoft Team Foundation Server. So here you can see I have made two repositories, one of Tricentis Tosca and one of Microsoft Team Foundation Server. Don't worry, I'll be telling you how I have created them, so that you'll be also able to see how we create them. Okay. It's very simple. Just I have already created them. So if you need to create them from scratch, just click on this new repository connection. It will create a new repository connection, and then just choose whichever you want to choose. Say for example, Microsoft Team Foundation Server or Tricentis Tosca, or you may be having some other different tool also. So you can use that also. Okay. So if I go back now, if I open this, so when you will be selecting your Tosca, Tricentis Tosca, then you'll be coming on this page. Okay, so this page here, you just have to put some fields, and that is all that you need to do for the repository connection. So here what you will do, for the label, you'll give some label name of the repository, like I have given Tosca repository. This is nothing but the repository repository name. Location is nothing but you need to give the location of where your Tosca is, and where your workspaces and all are present. Okay, so you'll give the name of the name of this. So every time whenever you will be integrating your this Tosca, we will be integrating from Tosca, you just have to give this path. This is nothing but the path of your Tosca server /rest/Tosca commander. So it's always going to be same. Just maybe this thing will get changed. Okay, depends on how you have configured your Tosca server. So for my case, my Tosca server is here itself on the same machine. That's why I'm putting the localhost, and 81 is nothing but the port number of the Tosca server. Okay, so then username and password are nothing but the username and password of my workspace, which I need to configure actually, from where I need to make the integration happen. This is all you'll be doing. So if you have some proxy server, you can put here the proxy server, and some more settings are there. If you feel the need to do them, you can do it. Otherwise, you can just fill these and done. Okay, so when you are done, here you can see the option. It's called Test Connection to Tosca Repository. So if you click on it, it will say you successfully connected. So if you have put all the values correctly, then you can directly click on this, and it will say you successfully connected. But if in any case you have some values that are incorrect, then it will throw you the error that cannot connect to Tosca. So then you need to find out the details why it's not working, and then you can figure out and check the details, and then you can correct them out. So, but this should be in the successfully connected state. Only then your Tosca Connect will be able to connect to Tosca. Okay, so next is Team Foundation Server. So same again, we'll go here, and I've given the label name. My label name is this. This is my location where my this Team Foundation Server is hosted. So I'll give the name. This is my domain where my this Tosca, VSTS is there. So it's my domain name, and this is my personal access token. So this personal access token, you will get it from the VSTS. So you need to generate one personal access token so as to let this Tosca Connect know that we can actually it's just like an authentication type. So we need to authenticate to this Tosca Connect that yes, we are using the correct this Tosca VSTS. So just for authentication purpose, we need to give this personal access token. So we can generate this personal access token also. It depends how you want to do it. So you can generate it and then you can put it here, and then again you can click done, or beforehand you can just check for the connection. Test connection. It will show you that successfully connected. Just click on done. So now what we have done till this time we have just configured our two different repositories. So the repositories, for my case, it's Tosca and Team Foundation Server, that's VSTS. Okay, so here we just have to give one is label, one is the location where our these tools are hosted. So we need to give those paths, and then maybe for domain or maybe username pass authentication. If there is some authentication, we need to give that authentication. That's all we need to do for repositories, and then we can test both of these, that whether both of these are working or not. So you can see that successfully connected. They are both successfully connected. Then it's all we need to do for the repositories. Okay, so now next is models. Now we'll go to models. So you can see here there are some almost 5 to 10 models that are already present there. So these models are nothing but they're like you can say they're acting as a man in the middle. So whatever artifacts that you need to move from from Tosca to VSTS, from one tool to another tool. So we have some standard, you can say standard things that are already present, standard models that are already present here in Tosca Connect. But if in case you don't find any model that is present, that is specific to your requirement, then you can just click on this new model and create the new model. Or you can again you can change your existing ones also. Like if you open one of them, you'll see the fields which are means associated with to it, that like summary, description, severity, priority, status, resolution, and all these and many more. So it depends. So if you find all the fields whatever you require are present here, then you don't need to add any of them. But if you feel that there's a need to add any of the fields here which are missing here, or there are additional fields that you have configured in Tosca that you need to like move to VSTS or vice versa, then you can just add those fields inside the models and just create a model out of them. So for our case, we will just require this feature epic, will require maybe defect, and will require a story. Yes, we'll require the story. So for our case, we have already these three models that are already there, so we don't need to configure any of them. So for defects, if you go to defects, you'll not be able to see this iteration path and area path. So this is nothing but the two models that I've already created. Just click on this plus sign and put here whatever the fields you want. So like here I have put the iteration path and area path. Similarly, you can put here the iteration path and whatever the fields that you want to add explicitly. Okay, so this is all that you need to do from the models. Okay, I'll cancel it because I don't want anything to be done. Okay, so this is how we create the models if there are none. But in most cases you will find the models are already present there and you don't need to create any of them. Okay. So now comes the most important section in the Tosca Connect, that's called as collections. So collections is nothing but, now you have repositories already created, you have models already created. Models are nothing but you have the like standard things already present. Now you just need to map, you just need to create or map two different things, like I showed you here in the PPT. So now we have already these things. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to map these things like epic to feature epic, story to user story, bug to defect. We need to first do it from the Visual Studio point of view, and then again from the Tosca point of view also. Like we need to map our requirements to feature epic, match our requirements to story, defects to defects, and then we can actually integrate both of them, like this part and this part. So first we will be focusing on these integrations. That means task top to VSTS and VSTS and task top to Tosca. So first we will focus on these integrations, and then we will move to the integration that is like a whole from VSTS to Tosca. First, we will be focusing on Tosca to Tasktop, and simultaneously from VSTS side, VSTS to Tasktop. So then we will be merging these collections, and we'll be creating integrations out of them. Okay, so I'll show you how we create the integration. I'll show you how we create one collection, and then we'll just go through all these collections. Similar way, just click on this new collection, click on the work item collection. We need the work item collection, so we'll see the work item collection. Then here, give the suitable name of your collection, whatever the name of your collection you want to give, like TFS epic collection, TFS user story collection, or TFS you can say defect collection, bug collection, whatever suitable name you find for it. Okay, now if you go to connection, you'll see the drop down, and you'll see the two repositories that you have already configured that are coming up here. Okay, so now what does that mean? That means you need to make a collection of a repository with Tosca Connect. So now you are making you are making you can say a relationship between Tasktop and your other tool. If in first case, say for example, you are making the collection of Tosca and making the collection of Tosca and Tasktop. Similarly, in another collection, you will be doing it for VSTS and Tasktop. So you'll be making first the mappings of these tools with Tasktop, and then you will be means like relating both of them, like from Tosca and VSTS point of view. Okay, so how we'll do it? Same, we'll select this, and then we'll select the workspace and all of them, and then we need to map the fields. Okay, I'll quickly jump you over that how I have done it. Okay, so my first thing is I have given the name here, TFS defect collection, and then if you go to this manage project, you will find the project name, whatever the project name you want to, whatever the project of VSTS you want to configure, that you have to put here. Say for example, mine case, this is my project, and then I'll map some fields as in if I see there are some fields that are not getting mapped, we need to map it. Say for example, in my case, I can see all of them are getting mapped. So if you find any this error message here in the configure section, then you need to configure them. Like for example, if you will when you will map this, you will find this priority and priority is not getting mapped. So you need to just go to configure, and you can give these you can just map these configurations, like what does one in this you can say task top means blocker in VSTS. Similarly, 2 means critical, 3 means high, 4 means medium or low. So this is the mapping that you have to give. You have to map all these values which task top understands and which VSTS understands. So that you have to mention here. So once you will mention them here, then you will see the sign might have got disappeared, or if there is some error message coming here, then you have to configure them. Configure in the sense like you have to like 1 to critical, 2 to block, or something like that. You have to configure them all. They can be different in different cases. Okay, say for example, do I have anything else here? No, I just have this description. No, I don't have anything in description. I have just only this priority that I need to configure. So I've already configured it. 1 is to blocker, 2 is to critical, 3 is to high, 4 is to medium low. So likewise, you have to do this for all the fields, and click on done, and then done. Then you will see this my one collection got created. Similarly, now I'll go to Epic. I can see. Okay, I missed here one thing. I'll show you. First I'll go back. Yeah, here you'll see this is TFS defect collection, but it's showing me the model of defect. Model of defect, that means the model that is present in task top, that is called as defect. Okay, so where I have configured it? I have configured it here. So when you will configure a new one, you will see it will tell you the work item, that is bug, that is present in your VSTS, and to which model of task top it has to be configured. It has to be configured with defect of task top. Okay, so now this collection it is actually configuring my bug with the defect model of Tosca Connect. Okay, this is doing this thing. Similarly, for my epic, I'll be mapping my epic to the feature epic model of Tosca Connect. Similarly, for user story, I'll be mapping my user story with this story of Tosca Connect. Okay, so like I saw for defect, now I'll see for user stories maybe. Same, I have selected the project whichever project I need to configure. Then I've selected here the user story, and I have given here the story. Here is the story. That means user story of VSTS is getting mapped to story model of task top. If I go to now, I'll see field maps. Field maps, same, we'll see the maps that are getting field. Same, you will see some points which are not getting mapped. Say for example, in this priority, maybe you will find that some of the fields are already mapped, but if they are not mapped, then you need to map them. So you need to be extra cautious that which fields are to be mapped with which fields, or in task top. Say because whatever you will be mapping here, the mapping when you will be doing the integration, all those fields will get mapped in that way only. So you need to be cautious in what you are doing. So you can't map 4 to blocker. So that will actually means reverse the order. So for that order, you need to just check in both the tools and whatever how they are working, and then you need to configure them. Okay. Okay, this is done. Okay, this is how we have configured from the repository of VSTS. Similarly, now like you can see, this bug is mapped to defect model of Tosca Connect or Tosca. So now we need to map this defect model to Tosca also, and that too with defect. So now we have created one collection which is of defect, and we have mapped it to defect model of Tosca Connect. So now what will happen? This is mapped to this defect, and this defect is internally mapped again to this TFS. So now in short, when we will do the integration, this bug will get this defect, whatever the defect is here in Tosca Connect, it will get moved to this bug. So we have to follow some rules that I'll tell. We have to give some artifact routing, that how we need to move the artifacts, that we'll see afterwards. But now in short, when I'll be creating this Tosca defect collection, which here I have given the the workspace name, that is the Tosca VSTS integration. This is my workspace, and then I'll be mapping my defect, that is of Tosca, with the defect model of TaskTop or Tosca Connect. So this is how we will do the mapping. And then if we need to check for the maps field, that if there are any issues or if there are any things that we need to map, then we can do that. Okay. So for defect, I think everything is correct. So we don't need to add any other thing. So we can just click on this done and done. Similarly, if we see now this my Tosca TFS Tosca epic is feature epic is configured with my epic of VSTS. So now I need to map this feature / epic model to my requirement. Similarly, story I have mapped to user story. Now I'll map this story to requirements. This is how we will create the collections in VSTS. So now here in collections we are just mapping one part, like VSTS to Tosca and Tosca to VSTS to TaskTop or Tosca Connect, and Tosca Connect to Tosca. So then this is what we do in collections. And now we'll go to integrations. Okay, in integrations we just map our this VSTS bug to Tosca defect. Okay, so now how we will do it? Again, we'll click on new collection. We'll select this work item synchronization. Then we will select here the repository, say Tosca repository, and here we will say VSTS repository. Now we need to map. Say for example, here we need to map this defect, and here we need to map this defect. Okay, so here is Tosca defect collection, and there is this TFS defect collection. So now I have created two different I have chosen two different repositories, and from two different repositories I have chosen that which artifacts should be moved to where. So like in my Tosca defect collection, I have explicitly given it the model of defect from Tosca, from Tosca Connect, and from TFS defect collection we have given the model of defect. So now they both will be mapped to each other because they all obviously are the same things. And here we have given the other, here in TFS defect we have given the bug, and here in Tosca defect we have given the defect. So my this defect from Tosca and my this bug will be integrated, and I'll give the location, I'll give the flow that my my whatever my defect is getting created in Tosca, it should get moved to TFS. Okay, so now I'll see I've already created it, and I'll just show you how we created test integration. Maybe I can delete it afterwards, but just for your purpose I'll be showing it. Okay, I'll click on save now. Done. Okay, let me again go to here, and we can see there is one error coming up. Okay, so now it's saying me artifact routing, so that means I need to route the artifacts also. I'll directly click on it, and now it is saying me that two-way creation. Okay, but I don't need the two-way creation. I just need that whatever the defects are getting made in Tosca, those should be reflected in my VSTS. Okay, so now here my project is this. This is the correct project, and from here my project is whatever the things are getting here, getting whatever the things are present here, issues, whatever is present in issues, all those defects should get moved to VSTS. So I'll select this issue. I'll select it. Okay. So now it's saying me connection to which side? Both sides, single side, or this side? Left side, right side. So what I need to do? I need to move from Tosca to TFS. So I'll choose this connect. Okay, it will move from Tosca to TFS. I'll choose this and see, and then I'll maybe save and then done. So now you can see this error has gone. Then again done. Okay, so as I have already created one of them, so that's why it's not allowing me to take this one. So I'll for the demo purpose I just showed you, but we will use this one, Tosca TFS Tosca bug integration. Okay, I understand. Delete. Okay, so now like we created for bug, now you can see I have created for epic also. I have created for the user story also. So now my all the three collections, collections are, you can say, integrated. So my collection of Tosca's collections and VSTS's collections are, they are all getting all got mapped. So similarly, this is for bug. If we see for epic, we will see Tosca epic collection and TFS Tosca epic collection. I have mapped them both. And artifact routing, maybe you can see I have routed it from TFS to Tosca. So whatever my requirement, whatever my epics are present there in the TFS, they should be moved to Tosca. And where in Tosca, you can see here in this project, TFS VSTS integration requirements in Tosca Connect. Okay, so if I go here, I can see in my requirements, I have one requirement set that's called as Tosca Connect. So if I see, so now it will integrate whatever is present here, whatever the epics are present in this project, it will just move those to Tosca Connect. Okay, this is how my this works. Okay, I'll go back, showing some integrations. Just a second, let me just reload it. Okay. Yes. So if I go to again integrations, so you can see epic is done, bug is done. Now we'll see user story. Same Tosca user story, VSTS user story. If we go to artifact routing, we can see that it has been this project has been routed to my this requirement. So this is all how we do the integration. So first thing, create different repositories of different of different tools. Like for Tosca and this VSTS, we'll create the two different repositories. Like we created here the two different repositories. Then if we need some models to be created, we will create the models here. If we don't need the models, then we can leave them. And if we find that whatever the models we need, those are already present here, then we don't need to mention them here. And then there are some certain collections that we can make. Those collections are present here. We can just make the collections with the help of models, whatever the models we have in the desktop. And then these are the collections that I've created, and then we have integrations. Okay, so now my integrations are done. Now maybe I'll create some epics and user stories here, and then we'll see how they will get integrated in Tosca. Okay, so now maybe I'll create one epic. I'll give some dummy name here. Test epic. Okay, I'll just save it. Okay, and then you can see my one test epic got created, and I will create one user story also. That is, maybe I'll say test user story. Okay, so I have two user stories that I have already created here in the VSTS. Now they should get moved to Tosca. Okay, so now similarly I'll go to issues. I'll check it out. I'll create one defect here. I'll create one defect. Say this is my defect. I'll create the test defect. Okay, I'll check in all. Okay, this is my defect, and this is my these are my requirements. Now I want that whatever I have created here, they should get moved to Tosca, and here my one bug should get created from whichever I have created in Tosca. Okay, so now what I will do, I'll click on here and then click run all. Once they have started, I'll go to activity. You'll see it will show me the activities, whatever activities it has done. So three activities, past three activities. Currently, it is doing the two activities, and if I see two activities again, it is all green, running integration. So let's see what it does. The integration is taking place a few seconds ago. Here you can see. Okay, list was updated. Refresh. Okay, yes, this is the error that I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, so if you can see if I firstly just update it, and I can see test user story and test epic. Whatever I have created here, test user story and test epic, they are moved to my Tosca. So whatever the epics and user stories that you will create, they will get automatically reflected here. But now here this defect, it has not moved to Visual Studio VSTS. If I reload it, you'll see it has not moved. Okay, and because I've got this error, an unexpected error occurred while creating the artifacts. New artifact has validation errors. Path area must be specified. Iteration path must be specified. So firstly, I'll stop this integration. Now I'll just run this bug integration because this epic and user story integration is successful. So now what I will do, I will go to Tosca.
Okay, so we'll go to the issues section, and maybe we'll first go to the project root and we will check out this. Maybe you can just check out also, or check out tree, whatever you want. So component folder, we'll create some component folder just for letting one property to enable, and then I'll right click on this test, then click on this ellipse and create property definition, and I'll give the name of issue. Okay, so once it is here, now I'll drag and drop it here on the project root folder. This is because we can't directly, if you go here, we can't directly just put this issues property here. That's why this is the method through which we can first create the component folder, then make the property definition there, and then we can drag and drop it on the project root folder. So now I'll create two parameters, that is area path, and next is iteration path. Okay, so now I can delete this folder, and if I go here, I can see I have the now the two properties, that's area path and iteration path. I'll give the values as VSTS demo 1 control A, same I'll give here. So based on your requirements, you can change these values, whatever the values you are having. Okay, now I'll check in all. So I've created one defect which is having both the area path and the iteration path there. So now I will again go to my this task top Tosca Connect and go to collections, and here I will go to defect collection, and I need to map one field that is of, I'll go here ID. Okay, I need to first refresh it. I will just refresh it. Okay, let it refresh, and then we can map the iteration path of task top with the model or defect model of Tosca Connect. Okay, so you can see it's loading, something is loading. Let's see if it has come up. No. Mm, okay. Okay, now it's here, iteration path. From this also we will select the iteration path and we will connect them. Similarly, next is area path, and here from here it is area path again. So now we are mapping these two fields because it was showing us the error that these two paths are not linked. So we can do the custom mapping. So here we are doing the custom mapping, that whatever the fields are present in VSTS, we want those fields also to be enabled in Tosca. It means Tosca we should put some value over there in Tosca in those fields, and then they should automatically get reflected in the VSTS. Now we'll save it and done. Okay, done. I will check for this TFS also. I guess they're already there. Let's see. Okay, iteration path and area path, they are already there for the VSTS, so we don't need to do anything here. Now save. Now we will we have done the error, whatever the error was coming up, so we have now solved it. Now we will again run this. Now this time we'll just run bug because our bug was failing last time. Now if I run it, I have checked in all of the things, and now I will go to activity. Now we'll see the current activity. Yes. Okay, the current activity, refresh. Okay, so I guess it has just yes. Okay, so you can see here this blue sign, so it is like test defect. Okay, so now if I go again, if I go to the VSTS and now just refresh it, reload, I can see this test effect got formed here, which is having the area path of VSTS demo 1. Okay, so this is what I created here. This test effect I created in the issue section, and now it's visible to me in the VSTS. So that means there are certain parameters which are which were associated with this bug. So we needed to explicitly mention those parameters in the Tosca and at the integration level also. Then only they were able to get mapped, and we need to explicitly put some values over there. Okay. Yes. So this is how integration takes place. Now I'll hand over to Arpit again. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Ankush, for the great presentation and demonstration. We have some great questions coming in from the audience. Feel free to keep them sending them in. We will answer as many as we have time for. Here is the first question. Do we need to separate license for TaxTop or it come with Tosca?
So yes, definitely we need a different license for Tosca Connect or Tosctop. So we need to get a Tosca Connect license in order to run the Tosctop or do the integrations. It does not come with the premium package of Tosca. So yes, definitely we need it.
So the question number two would be, can we map priority and severity of the defect?
Yes, definitely. If we have some defect which is having some priority and severity, and that in Tosca, so yes, if we want to see the same in VSTS, yes, we can do that. We need to add then those priority and severity fields in our integration process, and that will be automatically integrated.
So can we add some custom fields which is not present in Tosca?
Yes, definitely we can add. Say, for example, in the demo, we added two custom fields of area path and iteration path. So yes, definitely they were the custom fields which we added, which were not present in Tosca, but still we created them and then we added them in the VSTS. So yes, yes is the answer.
So question number 4 would be, can we map multiple projects at the same time using this integration?
Yes, definitely we can add multiple projects at the same time using this integration. Say, for example, we are having different projects which we need to integrate. So yes, definitely we can do this.
So the question number 5 would be, is it necessary to install REST API on the Tosca server?
Yes, REST API is necessary because we are accessing our workspace, and we need to actually transfer some artifacts from our workspace to from our Tosca workspace to VSTS. So yes, definitely we need to configure the REST API, and then only we'll be able to transfer our artifacts.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. In case you have any questions, you can ask them on our user community at usercommunity.tricentis.com. Thank you so much for participating. Please feel free to continue the conversation online by following us on Twitter, on LinkedIn. You can also reach us through our website at www.tricentis.com. Thank you again for joining this MOOC session, and we hope you enjoyed this session. A recording of this will be made available next week. Thanks again and have a great rest of the week.